Climb into bed in a hurry. Together we'll be free. All of my never-ending worry, we could just see me. Well, all this time and money couldn't buy me vacancy. Keeps telling me some never-ending story. She won't leave. But if only I could see her from time to time. Well, you know I'd still be with her in a better state of mind. Memories and broken dreams, oh, they all seem to shatter the perfect time. But if only I could see her from time to time. Neither ahead nor down, not with a family. Why her, why now? Please take me. When I'm not around, she tells me you'll forever be with me. Hold me as I slowly fade, baby, stay with me. But if only I could see her from time to time. Well, you know I'd still be with her in a better state of mind. The memories and broken dreams, oh, they all seem to shatter at the perfect time. Only I could see her from time to time.
Welcome back to East Coast DNA. Today's episode is featuring a somewhat new project, George Mooring, but some people may also recognize our guest today as Cole from Bologna, Colorado, or maybe from some other areas. I don't know. I didn't ask you leading up to hitting the record button, but one of the things that did pop up when I was researching is that there's someone with the exact same name and a little bit younger from a few years ago, so the timeline would line up. That was a skateboarder. Is that you by any
Yeah,
chance?
yeah, my real name, yeah, Cole Chalifoux. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny that you said that because like I've Googled my name before and I seen somebody who's from BC where I grew up. He's from the same province as me and has the identical name. And he skateboards and I was like skateboarding at the time too.
Oh, wow.
What the
That's fun.
fuck's going on? Yeah. It was kind of funny. Yeah.
And so I'm looking at your music career anyway. I've been aware of, probably I'm aware of you more so through the fact that Bologna, Colorado has played in my backyard here in Glasgow and in Truro quite a bit over the last couple of years.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, where are you from though? Like you're not from the Truro area?
No, I'm from it's like a smaller town in BC called Mission. It's
Okay.
if anybody's familiar with the Fraser Valley, it's a just across the bridge from Abbotsford, or it's kind of near like Chilliwack and Abbotsford, Maple Ridge, that
Okay.
area.
Okay.
So I grew up there, and then I moved here moved to Nova Scotia in 2021.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I met um, all my bandmates and stuff like that, and I wanted to start doing that, and then yeah, met good people, and here we are.
So what was the kind of, I know in the era that you would have moved here, why a lot of people were moving here was just to find a little bit of space and get away from some of the craziness with all the pandemic and everything. And a lot of art projects came out of extra time that people had on their hands. But for yourself, is that like a common kind of thread that's why you relocated from one side of the country to the other?
Um, I moved here because I was my hometown, like my upbringing and stuff was like I had stable house and parents that love me and whatnot and stuff like that. But I was not the greatest kid. I was kind of up to no good, um, and it got a little bit scary at a few points. And I'm glad a few people didn't make it, but I made it. And then I left my hometown and then came here. That was kind of the main reason. I needed to kind of get the hell out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And my friend was going to school out here, and he's like, "Oh, I'm renting a house if you want to come out." And because he kind of saw, he was like a good friend of mine, and he kind of saw what I was doing and
Mm-hmm.
where I was at, and he really like kind of pulled it together and kind of saved my ass really in a way because he saw what was going on. He's like, "I'm moving out here. You should come. You'd like it. You'd like it in Halifax." Because he was there for his first bit. He was going to Dow. Um, he's like, "Oh, you should come. You should come." And I was like, living in Calgary at the time, and I was like, "Yeah, I definitely should get the fuck out of here." And then since I've been here, it's been great. I really like it. I don't think I'll ever move anywhere else. I'll visit and tour and stuff, but I think this is where I'll die.
Well, you definitely, since relocating here, have found your people, so to say. I've noticed
True.
you in different spots around the music scene in Nova Scotia specifically, because I'm floating around here quite a bit myself. But I do see the Bologna, Colorado name quite a bit. But we had also just briefly chatted before the call started. More recently, besides the George Mooring thing that we'll get into, you've also been participating in some of the events in HRM that are quite widely known, specifically in the music industry, and probably quite a bit of tickets being sold out there too for these shows. But like the Winter Warmers was one series, and the Big Shiny Tunes show. So you're obviously incorporated into that scene. Those are circles of probably the cream of the crop in the HRM area. So sharing a stage with those people is always an honor. But how did that kind of come to be, and what has that experience been like the last few weekends?
Um, the Warmers is a really good time, and I liked it a lot because I was playing my own music, which is just kick ass. I didn't think I was going to be playing like music that I've written at all, which was awesome. And plus, I got to do like the George Mooring stuff. I got to do a couple solo songs, like just me and an acoustic guitar in front of. Uh, I didn't sell it out, not my fucking show, but I got the opportunity to play in front of hundreds of people. That my friend Rankin, fantastic, absolute gem of a human being, love him to bits. Um, he likes the George Mooring stuff, and he got me to do the like the in between set there, which was awesome. And that band, like yeah, like you were saying, it's absolutely stacked. Um, I really liked the drummer too. When we were playing that talk about it, um, off of the no refund, like that, like a live album or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a good time doing that. It's a busy song, but usually he's playing with like a click in his ear for most of the songs. But he's like, oh, that one, he really liked the no fucks given, that type of thing. He's like, he was super stoked with that. Yeah, that whole band was nuts. The experience was fantastic. Um, I hope I'm there next year. Big Shiny Tunes was a lot of fun too. Shout out to Dave Sampson, um, absolute gem of a human again. Um, and the cover songs are cool. It kind of it's a lot different than singing your own stuff. It's a lot more
Yeah.
stressful to sing cover songs than playing with my band because I whenever you're playing with the band, like most of the time, like I'm screwing up lyrics 24/7 when we're playing live, like with the band is playing Bologna Colorado stuff. Like I'm messing up lyrics. I'm like sometimes like freestyling lyrics, like because I like mess
Hmm.
something up and then I'll follow a rhyme on. You know what I mean? Like it's very like up in the air.
Yeah, it's yours to play with.
Yeah, exactly, right. And like and everybody knows this about me. So like when we're all playing together, it's known that like okay, we're gonna kind of like roll with this and kind of play it off like nothing happened and that type of thing. But with the cover songs, it's good. I think it's very good for me to like to do that because it was an eye opener on how like strategic it needs to be. Like the
Hmm.
band's gonna play the song exactly like the record. So if anything happens on my end, there's no compensating. It's just dead flat right across, right? Like so it's a bit nerve wracking singing those, and like I don't really know any of the words to any of the songs either, so I'm
Yeah.
taping the lyrics to the monitor, and I'm looking down, put sunglasses on so people can't see my eyes, looking at the cheat sheet and stuff like that. But overall, like the last 2 weekends, the Rankins Winter Warmers and Dave Sampson and Stephanie doing big shiny tunes. It was just a really really good time, and everybody, literally every single person in that lineup was just the top tier, awesome, good people. Like not a worry. Everybody was loose. Everybody was yeah. It was really really awesome. I had an absolute blast to be a part of that. Those two events. It was really really fun.
Yeah, I'd love seeing those because it gives a real sense of community, similar to the Last Waltz, which I finally got to go to one of the performances. But just where there's such a group of everyone from the area that's collaborating in a giant set, really. It's
Yeah, that's actually how I met Rankin. John Wesley, another fantastic person that I've met in the music scene. John Wesley actually invited me to play. I think this was a couple of years ago or a year ago. Halifax Jazz Fest, the Last Waltz performance. I got to play with Joe Murphy doing Mystery Train, and then I performed that, and then Rankin I can't remember what song Rankin was doing, but that's how I got into contact with Rankin McGinnis, and then we started chatting, and then became friends there, and then he eventually got me up with the Warmers, and yeah, the Last Waltz is an absolute stacked band as well, like super super nice fellas, really really good players. Yeah, I had a blast with them as well. It was a lot of fun.
and so you still, despite all of these opportunities that you've been afforded, you're still sticking close with Bologna, Colorado. You have some performances coming up with them as well.
Yeah, the winter time we don't really do too much. We're gonna do like another like little like live album type thing um this winter, but we don't do a lot.
Hmm.
We usually we do like the tour like spring and fall. We'll go to Ontario and back, and then play a bunch of shows, and but that's about it. Like winter time is pretty slow for us. We got at the Marigold on February 22nd. That's like
Hmm.
our only winter show. Um, And then yeah, and then May we'll start picking back up again. It warms up.
Where does that name come from? Which is one of the obvious questions.
Um, it's really nonsense. Like when I first moved here, I was making like corn dogs in the oven, and I was like I don't smoke weed anymore, but I was smoking weed at the time, and I just thought it was funny. Like I was like wrapping corn dogs in like bologna slices and like with cheese in there and like all sorts of like these weird things, and I was like sending a Snapchat like to a few friends. And I came up with like on the spot. I was like, oh, this is like the Bologna, Colorado, right? It's fucking stupid, but it was just like a funny two pairing of words
Yeah.
together, and then we were like starting to like blues band stuff. We wanted to play blues at bars, and that's how it kind of started. And we're like, oh, what are we gonna use for a band name? And like, yeah, fuck it, let's just use that, which is kind of funny. So
It definitely sticks, so it's a good
yeah,
marketing move for that way. So keeping along with where does the name come from? What's the meaning behind going under George Mooring for solo material?
my middle name's George, and I spent a lot of time like growing up with my grandparents, so that was his name, George. And mooring came from just boating. Like I really like sailing. I've been sailing a lot since I moved to Nova Scotia. So mooring isn't like a mooring ball that you tie your boat off to, and
Hmm.
your middle name, and
I like
then
it. Kind of like a symbolism of anchoring yourself to that as well.
yeah, it wasn't really there was nothing like play on words or whatever. It's just like
Hmm.
I wanted like I like to go by the name George. I just really like that name. And then mooring was just like I just boating, sailing, and stuff like that. You know.
Now, I've heard that it may be a grandparent behind the tattoo on your face as well. Is that true?
Yeah, that's George. That's
Okay.
the birth year there. Yeah.
So obviously somebody that meant a lot to you in your life.
Oh yeah, yeah, big time.
Is that somebody that also introduced you into music, or where did that germinate for you in your lifetime?
Um, he was into music. Like he was a very musical man for sure. He didn't play much music. He had guitar. I still have his cape. I don't have it on me, but it's downstairs. But he actually has like an old like a '50s capo that I use. It's like an old Hamilton one. Like you push it and the top
Hmm.
spins over. It's like a old one. So he had guitars and stuff like that in the crawl space, and that's where I got the capo from and stuff like that. In a time he was wanting to learn guitar, and I had this Yamaha acoustic guitar that I got for like a couple $100 my mom got for me, and he actually bought the guitar was maybe worth like 100, $200, maybe 150 or whatever. And he gave my mom a bunch of money for the guitar because I don't know if he actually wanted to learn again, like to pick the guitar back up. But he's like I'm gonna buy Cole's old guitar because I wanted a new one at the time. And he gave my mom like hundreds of dollars towards this new guitar that I wanted, and I don't even think he was really like into the whole thing. Like he did like it, but it was more for the sake. Oh, Cole wants a new guitar. I'm gonna give his mom a bunch of money for his old crappy guitar, so she can buy the new one. But we didn't play too much together. Like it wasn't. He did play, but I don't think it really like stuck with him.
Yeah.
I don't think because he would play and stuff. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
no, definitely like a big music guy for sure, but player didn't play too much.
And so now that you have that title to play under solo, does that mean like you would kind of mention that Bologna, Colorado has periods where they're not doing as much? Is the George Mooring project kind of filling those gaps in your schedule?
Yeah, I'm trying to like plan like tour or like not tours, but like strings of shows, like 5 6 shows, like in our off time.
Hmm.
Or like with Bologna, Colorado, like we're always busy, like we're always doing stuff and rehearsing a bunch and doing whatever. It's just the winter time, like the shows slow down really. But I am trying to uh, line up solo shows during my off time. Like the winter's kind of my time that I can go and mess around because we're our schedule's not that much. Like in the summertime,
Hmm.
we're super busy, so I
Sure.
can't really do much, and we need to be around all the time. So, but I am trying to line up like just 5-6 shows at a time, on the off season of the band stuff.
And those two projects have different sounds to them too, so they must kind of flex a different muscle.
Oh, big time, yeah. The George Mooring stuff is strictly what's the word? Heartbreak.
Yeah.
Yeah, not heartbreak, but just relationship stuff. And then the band stuff's more angry.
Hmm.
You know, the band stuff, yeah, like a good amount of anger and shitty situations, and then the solo stuff is all like love stuff, which is good. So I have a separation between
Yeah.
each other.
And for people listening, we did open up before the two of us started chatting with a video from the SUBVert performance just a couple weeks ago here in Truro, with you performing Time to Time, which is on the debut EP for George Mooring.
Yeah, I actually recorded that on my sailboat. I was like, because usually I'm living in Chester right now because
Mhm.
just for the winter I got off the boat, but whenever it's warm out, I'm usually living on like a little 24-foot Mirage
Cool.
sailboat. And I recorded it all in there. I just had my laptop and just like 158 and did it
Amazing.
all. Yeah, yeah. I think that was the right move.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have been able to tell that you had it in a location like that. So, is that something that you've been tinkering with, is to be able to record there as well, or is it just something that comes naturally to you? So, well, you just decide to record and you could.
Like I've always like recorded my own stuff. It's not rocket science. I mean, like I can I can make it sound good enough. I'm not too like nitpicky with it. Like I really don't care. It's like they're gonna listen to the song, and it, sonically it doesn't have to be like perfection, and I don't think it needs to be perfection, regardless. But it was easy. Like it's just I think people think too hard about it, especially for like
Yeah.
solo stuff. Like, dude, it's just fucking put a microphone up and play your songs into the microphone, and compression, reverb, and some other stuff like it. Clean it up and then ship it off. Like it's not if the song's hitting somebody in a way, it's not gonna not hit them just because it's recorded not that well. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't really believe in the whole like it needs to be perfect like this, that, and the other thing. It's like if it's a good song and it's not gonna change anything if it's subpar, perfect, immaculate recording. You know what I mean? Like
Oh, one of my favorite like CanCon indie artists, Hayden, years ago, like his breakout album, I guess, in the indie scene back in the 90s was recorded on a 4-track in his bedroom. And like it sounds amazing. Like that's the way I expect it to sound now because that's the way I've always heard it. But I mean, it sounds amazing. Joel Plaskett was on just a few months ago, and he kind of took that approach on purpose where he scaled back and did that for his last album too. So I mean, there's definitely
mhm.
something behind what you're saying about thinking a little too hard when you're trying to put out something like that. But it does sound amazing. Time to time, for people that tuned in here at the beginning heard it. But for the rest of the album, you had mentioned Heartbreak. It actually is thematic throughout it. The album's called Songs for Her.
Yeah,
So are these all based around personal experiences?
yeah, but like multiple people, like
Yeah.
the thing is, like it's whenever like you're writing songs, like I don't want anybody to think that this is about. There's definitely confusion. Like the people that I've seen or been with, they're like, oh, it's not all about one person. It's more like it's like years span, right?
Hmm.
Um, but there's like there's there's a few about a certain person and a couple with another, and then early stuff with another person. Yeah, it's all over the place, but it's all the songs are like relationship stuff. Like that's like the whole. That's why I did the title like the songs for her.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of, but it's more broader than that. It's kind of about multiple hers, all my mistakes I've made in my life,
Yeah.
all the relationships that I burned. you know,
So are you building up new material then in the meantime for a follow-up? Is there
yeah,
much more heartbreaks in the meantime or?
there's a weird delay. Surprisingly enough, stuff will hit the fan, and then I'll have this delay, and then figure out, and then like start writing music about that, not kind of deliberately, but like
Mm-hmm.
just kind of doing that. I think I have 6 or 7 songs ready so I think I'm gonna do like another George Mooring album like pretty damn near pretty soon.
Yeah.
Because I have 2 new ones or 3 new ones, and then like I think like 4 or 5 or 4 like really old ones that I wanted to record that I didn't put on the last one. So I think it'll be pretty soon that I can crank out another little album thing. So,
Well, it's pretty exciting to have new material around the corner. But where should people follow you online if they want to keep up with that?
just Instagram really. I don't have like for like the Bologna stuff, the band stuff. We have website and everything that you can find us easily, but for the solo stuff, it's more it's just Instagram. That's about it. I don't take it too seriously with keeping up to date on things. Like I'll just kind of put it out. Like I don't think I'll like try to hype anything up or
Sure.
anything like that. Just kind of it's there if you want it, and I appreciate it if you listen to it, and I'm glad if it helps you or makes you feel something. But if not, like I'm not gonna cram that stuff down, like promote it like a shit ton and stuff like that. Maybe the next one. It all depends on how like it comes out. Maybe
Hmm.
I'll be super proud of it and I'll be like, oh yeah, let's put some money behind it. But I fucking doubt it.
And
you
so
know.
keeping up with live performances, definitely anybody that's following East Coast DNA, we usually share when you guys are performing anyway. So I'm sure people will see that if they're following through our channels. And when you do have that show coming up on the 22nd of March, I think it is, in the Marigold.
Yeah, that's this month, February twenty
Oh, it's
second.
February. Okay. So that's really soon, just around the corner. So
Mm-hmm.
that show, who else is performing that night? That's another one of the SUBVert series, is it not?
Yes. Force Fields and I think Shadowfolk. Is it Shadowfolk?
Oh, amazing.
I love Shadowfolk. They're my
Yes.
favorite.
Yeah, we had Justin on here as well.
Nice. Yeah, I love Justin. Fantastic human. Yeah, let me just double check. I believe it is Force Fields and Shadowfolk. Twenty
Amazing.
second. Yeah, that's gonna be a good time.
So I think now that if I've had two of the three leads, then I'm going to have to reach out to Force Fields in the near future as well.
Oh yeah.
And for anyone that wants tickets to that show, you can get them through the Marigold now, I believe. And for anyone that wants to know more about the SUBVert series, definitely follow along on the Marigold page. And there's also a separate SUBVert Instagram page as well. And for anyone that wants to know more about Bologna, Colorado, maybe put something in the comments here for me and let me know that you're interested. And I'll talk to Cole about maybe doing a full band interview some point down the road before they're too big for me to corner in one room.
I hope. I'm praying.
Well, it's looking good based on the track record that you've had the last 12 months. Like those are pretty big shows that you've been doing, and you're in pretty good circles. So if you're gonna break out, I think it's just around the corner. So here's
I
hoping the
hope so.
best. And
We're sick of working our jobs. We want to quit. We want to quit our day jobs. So
yes, exactly.
yeah,
Hopefully that's in the future for all of us.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, I'll see you on the 22nd. And for everyone else out there, I'll probably see you tomorrow. There's quite a bit of content coming out right now. So thanks for following along, and we'll see you all out there at a show. Bye.